evening, everybody, and welcome back to No Sleep Till Midnight. My name is Gabriel Walker, and I'm joined with my friends who are just I can't speak.
You are just the worst.
You're just the worst. And I can't sleep because it's too late at night. I can't speak because it's too late at night. You guys introduce yourselves. I can't. Go.
Kristen.
I'm Marie, and I'm funny.
No, go, because I'm still laughing.
Okay, well, I'm Noah, and apparently the podcast professional can't do his job correctly tonight.
Hey, man. I got up early today.
That's good.
Okay.
I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning. I got into the shower. I stepped out of the shower, looked at my phone, and my supervisor was just like, yeah, I can't have you come in at 8. I need you to come in at 4 p.m. today. I was like, well, I just woke up at 6 a.m. for nothing.
That's
Yikes.
the worst.
Dang.
I
didn't get to say my name.
Oh, who is it? Who is it?
Hello, I'm James.
Hi, James.
Or Simmons, or
Hi, James.
Or am I?
Jamie.
Question mark?
I just realized Samaj is your name backwards.
Did you really just get
You
that?
just now
I
realized.
really
I've been using that for so much, Gabe. How?
We talked about it in one of the Drunk Minecraft episodes.
I thought it was just C-Mash.
Oh my god. Your name backwards is
Learbag. Learbag.
Nel Ikonosko.
And that's the colorful character right there, folks.
Sure
Go
is.
talk about him.
He once played an accordion for 1 hour straight, live on TV.
Don't say his name.
Don't talk about redacted.
Yeah. Don't talk about redacted.
So I have something to tell you guys.
Okay.
I recently as in yesterday, started feeling really, really old.
I thought you were going to go so different with that.
Because I had to push the font size up on my phone.
No, you didn't.
I did. 2 clicks.
That reminds me. My mom, one time, people were making fun of her for how big her font size were on, or how big it was on her phone. And so she showed me, she's like, but look, they're texting me and their font size is big too. I'm like, Mom, that's still your phone. Oh no, that's so funny.
Oh no.
Hey man,
That's
shout
hilarious.
out to the olden days when I thought that the data from CDs and game discs and stuff was stored on the disc itself and not on like the Wii console, for example.
Wait, no, it
Man.
totally was.
What do you mean?
Wait,
The
was it
data
not?
the data for games is stored on the console, not the fucking disc.
Yeah, you're right. I was also stupid.
Man, I felt so dumb when I figured that out. Like, I mean, this isn't a recent discovery, okay? But
Yeah.
I need some DLC's work.
Yeah.
what DLC? I was like 7 years old. Chill.
Well, right.
Back in my day, there was no DLC. You bought a game and you were happy with it.
Or however the fuck old I was, I don't even remember.
But would you like me to get into what we're supposed to be talking about today?
Yeah, let's talk about our topic today.
So you're probably all wondering why we gathered here today, and we're going to talk about dreams and nightmares, because I've had a ton lately, and just always because my brain hates me. But I want to start out with the one I had pretty recently, and it was about all of us. We were all there, the whole gang, and I was in my new place. Oh, yeah,
Wow.
It was very nice. Yeah, I was in my new place, and I invited Gabe over for some games and some chill bro time. You know how it is. And
Chill bro time.
yeah,
Right.
just, you know what that means. Don't
I
you?
wish I didn't.
But so Gabe shows up, and then it's, we're chilling. He's like, oh yeah, I invited everyone else from WTFK as well. I'm like, oh, oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's not my place, but I'm sure it's fine if we all just hang out downstairs. And so we're all just chilling, and everyone gets there. And then my sister comes downstairs, like, oh yeah, just so you know, we're hosting a birthday party downstairs as well. So you guys need to go in your room. And my room's tiny, so we're all just huddle in there and act all sad and dejected. And then as soon as we come out of the room, there's just a whole ass rager party going on outside. Like it's just insane. And I'm like, well, I guess this is what's happening tonight. And there's some baddies there, and just on people. And Gabe was there. I think his shirt came off at one point. It was awesome.
Oh,
My shirt always comes off at parties.
Yeah, it was just people just doing drugs and doing naughty things in the bathrooms and rooms.
Were
And
they
I was like,
sniffing off each other?
I don't know what that means.
Did somebody get a blumpkin?
Maybe. I probably could have if I didn't get woken up. But, but yeah, I don't know. And like, yeah, all the people that are supposed to be there, like my sister and stuff, they all just disappeared. So I was like, oh, well, this is fine because the people that could get me in trouble aren't here. So let's just rage.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So that was my dream. That was a good time.
Have any nightmares recently? Did you have any nightmares recently?
Oh, I did. Last night I did, actually.
It's because you've been playing Phasmophobia.
Yeah, that. No, but I also I watched Inglourious Bastards yesterday, and really good movie. But all of a sudden I was dreaming, well, nightmaring, I don't know what you call it, but I was lined up with other U.S. soldiers, and I was also a U.S. soldier, I guess, in World War II. I was lined up in front of Hitler, who had captured us, and he was about to like put us on a firing squad. And then all of a sudden I like kept seeing worms in the ground near me, but then the worms were getting bigger and bigger, and then they had legs, so I guess they weren't worms anymore. And they started crawling on me, and it was horrible. And then in real life, one of my cats must have brushed my leg with their tail, and I woke the frick up and just screamed.
Oh, I have a story going on with that, actually.
It was terrifying.
more worm dreams.
Yeah. So
My son has finally had the worm dream.
He's ready to be a man.
I was in Washington, D.C., and at the time, I still am quite terrified of like rats and stuff. I don't know why, but because me and my brother had to share a bed, and because we were going from like hotel to hotel, like going and seeing different things and stuff like that. And so one night we were sharing a bed, and for some reason, his head ended up by my feet, and my brain switched. Oh my God, there's a rat in my bed, and so I truly realized I could not move. That was one of the scariest things to happen in like my very young childhood. Like that terrified me, and I still don't like rats. But
So I have a nightmare story. I have two nightmares. The first one, like that I remember from like years and years and years. The earliest nightmare I can remember, I think this is when I must have been in second grade, third grade, maybe something like that.
Okay.
But my neighbor had just shown me like an episode of like the Super Mario Brothers live action thing. It was the Ronald McDonald live action show.
That's so different. Where did you get Super Mario Bros. From that?
Because me and you were talking about live action Super Mario's a while back.
Oh yeah, we were.
Mario. So I had this fucking dream where I ran into Ronald McDonald's mechanic cousin named Ron. And then somehow I was in a bathtub that ate me. And then inside that bathtub, I was inside the mechanic cousin's stomach. Like he had also eaten me in the bathtub.
So he ate the bathtub?
He ate the bathtub. He in the bathtub. And I'm sitting here just seeing like the faucet, and like the faucet had like this weird face on it. And I was scared of my bathtub's faucet for like a month after that.
Poor Gabe.
Whenever I hear the word bathtub, like I just think of The Shining. Like I don't call it a bathtub, I call it a shower. So whenever I hear the word bathtub, I'm just like, oh, creepy old lady.
Bathtub.
The meth tub?
First thing that comes to mind for
That's
me.
what I have in my bathroom. Carry on.
First thing that comes to mind for me with like creepy bathtubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I wasn't sure if you guys could hear me or not, so I just stopped talking.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
Okay. Jesus. Okay, so spoilers for Dexter if you've ever seen that. But
My favorite
very
show.
first like creepy bathroom story I think of is there's one murder that happens where the character is lying in the bathtub and all the water is filled with blood and it's overflowing and it's like going all over the bathroom floor and everything.
And then Dee Dee comes in and
That's
goes,
what it reminds me of. I don't know.
what does this button do?
Baby, get out of my laboratory.
That reminds me of Breaking Bad because there's one where they have to dispose the body and it's in the bathtub and they put, I don't know what they put in, but it falls through the floor.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's some sort of chemical, hydrochlorine or something like that.
Yeah. I'm not sciencey smart, so don't ask me. But
Not that I've ever used that before. Wink, wink.
Judge.
No, I used to have this reoccurring nightmare when I was younger. Maybe it was after I watched like Toy Soldiers. No, not even that. It was the other. What's the scary one? Puppet Master. The scary like movie where it's like little toys.
Puppet Master.
Yeah, that I always dreamed that my toys would come to life and come out of my closet and then drag me into it, and so I was always terrified of my closet.
Toy Story gone wrong.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Off of that with like reoccurring stuff, like I don't have I've had some dreams that are like weirdly reoccurring, and those are like my mouth is full of gum and I just keep pulling and pulling. I can breathe, but it's just like I feel so stuffed. And I looked it up. It's terrifying.
That's so inconvenient.
Okay, so to dream that you were unable to get rid of gum suggests that you are experiencing some indecision, powerlessness, or frustration. You may lack understanding in a situation or find the current problem is overwhelming. The gum in your mouth is a metaphor for something that you are trying to process or digest. Perhaps you feel you have been bitten off more than you can chew. But that is so vague.
I just love the fact that you're not crazy, that other people have had this dream.
I know. And it's another thing. I talked to my brother about this, and he's like, "Oh, well, I've had something similar where my teeth pull out, or like I lose teeth."
Oh, I heard about that one. There is something about that. There's like a reason for that.
And I looked it up again.
Yeah, I would say I've seen like the reason. What is it again?
Well, this is what I found just on like one of the first ones that comes up on Google. One of the most common interpretations for having your teeth fall out in a dream has to do with deep personal loss. This can be related to death of a loved one, loss of a marriage or partnership, etc. So I mean, just like losing something, but a tooth, that's so random to me.
Yeah,
that is strange.
I've had many dreams of teeth and gum, and that's my nightmares actually. So
keeping up.
Yeah.
Keeping up the like nightmare thing. This is probably like the only story, like direct story I was planning on telling. But as a kid, like I'm talking like really young, I don't remember any of it, but I've heard stories about it. I used to experience things called night terrors. Do any of you know what those are?
Yeah.
Oh, I know those.
Yeah, and I've had sleep paralysis, which I think is slightly the same, but not exactly.
I have had that once.
It's
I'll tell you that story
it's
after.
different.
Okay. But
yeah. So night terrors are different from sleep paralysis because night terrors are like having nightmares, except your body reacts to it in real life.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
like even if your eyes are open, you're still asleep. So my parents would wake up in the middle of the night to me screaming just in the middle of the night. My eyes are wide open, and like they could shake me and like say that they're there and physically be there, but my body would not respond. And I would just be like stuck in this dream until like it finished. Yeah, and apparently it happened like multiple times, but then suddenly just stopped.
My little sister had those actually, and it was actually, we believe it was caused by Adderall, because we all of us kids have ADHD, but she might have it worse than others, and so she was on Adderall, and not only did it give her night terrors, but it caused her to hallucinate, and we didn't realize it until years after she had been on the thing. Like one of the big culprit times, like all of our bedrooms were upstairs, and where I was like around the corner from her bedroom, and I was like hanging out with my brother, and we walked past her to go into the other room, and she's like sitting at the top of the stairs when we did that. She then looks downstairs and sees the brother that I was just with and walked into the other room at the bottom of the stairs.
That's creepy.
That's creepy.
Then he like starts running up the stairs at her, and like, you know,
Bro,
Debs was like, something might be wrong here.
Yeah.
that doesn't seem normal.
What was your story, Reese?
So my story was sleep paralysis. So I was like 3 years old. It's one of my earliest memories, right? And I was like lying in bed on my side, or I remember like waking up, hearing like the blood pounding in my ears as I laid on my side. You know how if you lay on your ear, you can hear that.
Yeah.
So I heard that, and then I look up and there's a skeleton standing at the foot of my bed, just like towering over me. Like, I don't know where I've seen skeletons when I'm 3 years old, but it was like really detailed, and so scared the fuck out of me, right? Obviously, and then from like that point on, every time I heard that like ear thumping, it would just give me painful Vietnam flashbacks to that skeleton thing.
Oh no.
So like for the longest time, and then eventually, like once I was older, I'm like, what was that? And then like once I eventually learned about sleep paralysis at some point, and that's when I kind of drew the conclusion that's what it must have been.
Yeah. Yeah. No, sleep.
Because it seemed so real. I'm like, but it couldn't have been real. I don't know. I didn't know. I never knew how to explain it till I found out what sleep paralysis was. And there you go. And now that noise still makes me uncomfortable, like laying on your ears and hearing the thumping. It just like drives me nuts.
Oh, I bet. No, yeah, sleep paralysis is insane. It's like it's crazy that every single well, at least like in most cases when people have it, like they see something in their room. Like when I had it, there was like a dark mass just like looming above me in my bed, and I just tried to scream, and like you just can't because you're not fully awake. Like your body is still shut down.
I never want to see that shit again.
Yeah.
I don't really get it anymore, but as a kid, I used to hallucinate at night when I was like trying to sleep, like seeing things like across the room. I remember seeing like specifically like colored dots that would like move around, kind of like Northern Lights or something, and it would be like the same colors too.
I literally
like
had
blues.
Exact same thing. I was at my friend's cabin, and it was like the middle of the night, and we were sleeping in bunk beds, and I was on the top, but like I was seeing these dots all around me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I felt like they were on my skin. I thought they were like fireflies, so I freaked out. I left the room, and I went and slept in the living room. Mind you, this is her cabin, so her parents come out in the morning, like, what are you doing in the sleeping in the living room? You usually are for another hour in your bedroom. I'm like, there was bugs everywhere. They're like, I don't think that's true, but
And then they thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
I had a much different reaction to them. I just kind of let it happen. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Being a kid is terrifying.
What?
What?
What were you gonna say?
I was just saying, being a kid is terrifying. I mean, well, I just want to say, like, I used to have like a line of stuffed animals on my like dresser when I was little, and like whenever I'd like be going to bed or like waking up, I would like look at them, and sometimes you could like, I don't know, I guess it was either my eyes or just like my brain, like I would see them like just shifting like very slightly, like all the time. It was really weird.
Oh,
creepy stuff, man.
Yeah,
a lot of unexplained shit that you just can't seem to figure out when you're that young. It's crazy.
I wonder if it has to do with like the brain developing or something.
Have you guys ever had lucid dreams?
Lucid dreams?
Yeah.
Oh,
let me tell you about. Oh no! What? Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say I've had a total of 3 of those. The first 2 I fucked up because I realized I was dreaming, and I'm like, oh boy, and then I woke up.
Yeah.
And then the third one, I actually got to like fly around, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah. Let me tell you about that. Every time I've had a lucid dream, either like I fuck up and I just like wake up because I realize it's happening,
Yep.
or I start telling other people in the dream that it's a dream, and like that's like, why would I do that? Like, why don't I just like do something cool? And then one time I dreamed I was at my preschool, and I realized that, or like daycare or whatever it was, because I was like old enough to like realize what was happening. So I was like, oh, I'm lucid dreaming right now. Like I could do anything. So like I tried to use the force to grab something across the room, and then staples started coming out from my skin, and I was like, and I just woke up. So I don't think I can actually lucid dream.
I don't think you had complete control there.
Yeah.
My wife lucid dreams like almost every night.
Bruh.
Like she dreams all the time, and like when she's like half awake, half asleep, especially if like she can sleep in until she naturally wakes up, like she is always in control, always trying to fix things and make the what's going on in the dream better. And like she just keeps telling me all these crazy dreams. I'm like, how do you do this? I never dream. Like or at least I don't ever remember my dreams except for a handful of times throughout my whole life.
I think you always have a dream, but like if you wake up, there's a good chance that you won't remember anything.
Yeah. So,
do any of you have sleepwalking experiences?
Oh, gosh, yes.
No,
and I have a lucid dream story too. So my lucid dream, going back to that quick, I was, for some reason, I couldn't leave my house, but I had the ability to fly like Superman. And my house isn't like that big. And so I was literally just flying around, like controlling that. And I literally just like went up and down the stairs like 20 times because I couldn't do anything else.
That's so sad.
I love that.
But then my sleepwalking story, I think I might have told you guys this before, but obviously not on a podcast. But I was younger and I had to go to the bathroom really bad. Once again, talking about peeing my pants. So I walked into my parents' room. I don't know. I must have been like 4 or 5, I don't know, really young. And I walk in my parents' room because I thought their ground was the toilet. And I start to take my pants off. And my parents like, what are you doing? Like, go to the bathroom, because she has a bathroom connected to her bedroom. So it's like literally like 5 feet away. Like it's not far at all. But I was just deciding to pee on the floor instead. And so she like picks me up and like puts me on the toilet or whatever to go pee. But I was still sleeping at this point. I don't remember like any of this. This is what she's all told me. But so that was crazy. Just walking into her room and start peeing on the floor. Good times.
Little devil child.
So for me,
oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go.
No,
for
you
it.
were gonna go. You were gonna go for it.
All right, fine, I'll go. With my sleepwalking story, I don't really remember anything from it, but apparently around the same age that I had like the night terrors and whatnot, I just walked out into the living room, like stepped up onto like our big comfy chair over in like the corner of the living room, dropped trout and just pissed right into it. Like nobody was able to stop me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, That's one of the sleeping stories that I've always been told. Just don't remember anything from it. And then there was times where like I'd go to sleep in my bed and then I'd wake up in like my parents' bed and not remember like ever like going down there and asking.
I did that a few times as a kid, but other than that, sleepwalking like hasn't really been. I don't have interesting stories of that really.
Yeah.
Some of my younger siblings sleptwalk, and there's a pretty big gap between me and my youngest sibling. Like it's 10 years. And so, you know, a lot of times growing up, especially as a teenager, you know, I'd be like 16 and they're 6, so they'd go to bed early. And me, my older sister, and my parents, sometimes we'd watch TV together. And once or twice, my youngest sister, she would come down the stairs, obviously sleepwalking, and like she just like stuck her face in the corner. And then we're like, oh, what are you doing? And she would just like spin in a circle and then sit down.
That's terrifying.
Just like, what?
That's some horror movie shit right there.
Yeah. I was going back to
it was hilarious at the time, but like, when looking back, like I can see that how it could be terrifying.
Yeah. I was saying, going back to lucid dreaming. So I think, so now what's really weird for me is when I'm dreaming, in the middle of it, I'll realize that it's a dream. And then like, I won't have control over it though, but I will be like, this is like, I'm dreaming right now. I'm really surprised this isn't a nightmare. And then it'll turn into a nightmare. Like I have a lot of nightmares actually. And like, I think it's all like very self-induced and I don't know why, but, so it's like I realize what's happening, but then all of a sudden, like I was like, this needs to be scary, and then all of a sudden I'm in
it's like you realize what's happening, and then that makes you lose control for some reason.
Yeah, like the other day I had a dream. I had a dream that I was just walking down the street, and all of a sudden I saw my ex and her family, and for no reason they started berating me and like being really mean to me, and I woke myself up because I was so mad. I woke myself awake. I'm like, screw this, I'm not taking this, and I just woke up.
Yeah, I've had dreams where like I'd get really mad at my brother or something, we'd get in some argument and then I'd beat the shit out of him in my dream. Like non-stop, just punches flying for like an hour and a half.
That's hilarious.
And it never feels satisfying enough because, you know, punching in dreams, you can never punch at full power. It doesn't feel satifying, and it's just like
wakes up and you're next to you're standing over him, you just punch him.
I wake up so angry. That's just what having a brother is like. I don't know.
I can just imagine you just go into his bed and just slap him in the face for no reason.
If I was the sleepwalking type, he would have to watch out.
For real.
Oh man,
this is what you get for what you did in my dream.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it used to make me so mad. Just
my
my
dad works late a lot of times at night. He does like graphic design and web design and photo stuff, and he always has his computer in the bedroom because the house is never big enough for all of us. And so, but my mom gets up early to work out, so she goes to bed before him. But sometimes she'll like get mad at him in her sleep, and like, but they'll have a conversation. and it'd be like, my mom's like, what are you doing? And he'd be like, working. And she's like, oh, you always say that. And she's like fully asleep during the whole thing.
Incredible.
That was like, I hate that. Whenever someone like wakes up and they're like, I'm mad at you. You're like, why? It's like, just be mad at me for the shitty things I do in real life, not in your dream.
Related to the conversation, like sleep talking, one of my friends, like half the time whenever I sleep over at his place or he sleeps over at my place, there's times where he'll get super sleepy before I do, and then he'll start dozing off, and then he'll wake back up and we'll have full-fledged conversations, and then the next morning I'll ask him about it and he's like, I do not remember a thing, I was still asleep.
That's crazy.
There's also been times where my sister, she'll just like yell at me in her sleep, even if I'm not even home, like I'm still up at college, and I have no clue as to why.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
So go ahead.
I also had a dream. I think this was the same dream as last night. It was part of it with Hitler and everything. But before that, before I had to face Hitler, I was a really shitty Spider-Man.
How shitty?
I couldn't shoot webs. I couldn't climb or anything, but I had a Spider-Man suit on. And I was running through a neighborhood trying to find something to like do, like save or like, some trouble. I guess. And I had a pole that extended. I don't know what that was for. And then I lost all my homework and it was flying through the air and I had to catch it as Spider-Man.
How random.
I know. I was like, why is this happening to me? But I mean, like, I guess I could have this Spider-Man. Like, he's just flying through the air and also he's like, oh, crap, my homework. So I think it makes sense.
Spider-Man comics like that?
Yeah. It kind of happens in the new movies. He's like, oh, man, I got to do all my school stuff, but I'm Spider-Man. So maybe that's what I don't even know.
But I'm Spider-Boy.
Alex Man Spider, not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Spider was such a good video.
The Amazing Spider.
Oh, man. So I think, Noah, you've got like a really big story for us.
Yeah,
I think it's time for your big story.
Story time, so you can all fall asleep.
Yeah,
it's a bedtime story.
How boring it is. I'm joking. Okay. So I have some notes here. I don't have it down word for word because I think this will flow better, just me talking. Basically, this has to do with my introduction to tabletop RPGs, which actually wasn't through D&D. Like 99% of people have been introduced to it. This was back in high school. I think junior year was around this time because I had quit swimming by this point. Mm-hmm. But basically, we used an old system that's called Rollmaster, and it's pretty similar to D&D, except instead of using D20, we would use D100s or percentile dice.
Oh, jeez.
And that's used for everything, and it's super intricate. So you had like all sorts of criticals and whatnot that would pinpoint certain parts of the body and would tell you like what organs or what bones were broken or like specific things. Jeez. That, yeah, it's really intricate and I have a really soft spot for it, but I haven't played it in a really long time. But basically, a good way to get into tabletop role playing is to kind of base your character off of something that you know, like rather than trying to come up with it on like yourself and getting some help with making the character. So I was really into the Dexter TV show, like I had mentioned earlier, actually. And I wanted to make a vigilante type character, like someone that would like murder bad guys, like take matters into his own hands type thing. And this was a really bad thing because the very first session that I had with my friends, one of their characters was just straight up evil and was able to convert the rest of the party into just being evil for some reason. And I'm just sitting here like, well, I know what I have to do now.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
The entire time I kind of just like play along with them and just like tag along. I still don't really know the system all too well anyways, so I had to get some time into like learning the system. But since my character was kind of a rogue, kind of a magic user, I decided that I wanted to try to use some sort of poison on them to try to kill the rest of the party. So I got with the DM, in this case is called the GM, so Game Master rather than Dungeon Master. I got with him at the time, and I explained that I wanted to murder the party. And I needed help like learning the systems and everything. And since this wasn't coming out of left field, they were like completely fine with it. And there was a cult that my party had to deal with. I don't remember how we got to the situation, but basically, the cult wanted us to help them out with something, but they wouldn't say what. I didn't trust it, so I decided, no, I'm not going to go. The rest of the party is like, yeah, sure, we'll go help you guys out. So they go through this portal, and turns out that this cult wants to sacrifice them to a god. So they make their way out, and they basically become enemies with this cult, this evil cult. And I decided to use that to my advantage. And out of the way from the rest of the party, I made a deal with this cult to let them know our location and set up for a very specific day at a very specific time for them to show up and kill the rest of the party.
Oh no.
So we end up getting like a cabin or something that we use as like a training ground because we have these like new trainees for the party, for the evil party. And it turns out that night is going to be a full moon. Little does the party know that my character is also a lycanthrope. So that night, I end up poisoning the party for like when we had like dinner or whatever. And I made my escape out of the cabin place just so then I wouldn't get caught in the crossfire. The cult shows up, starts obliterating the rest of the party. One of them manages to escape, and they ended up they ended up crossing paths with me, which I'm currently in my werewolf form, so they don't know that it's like me right away. And so I have to like do the deed and murder the final party member, and then the RPG just ends. And that was my very first one, and that's not the last time that I've betrayed them for my own benefit.
God.
How bad were they?
Extremely.
Worse than murder hobos?
Maybe. This wasn't our last RPG, so I'll save the second time that I betrayed my party for another time, but it really set the standard as to like what I like to do with RPGs.
So we're not inviting Noah to our tabletop games if we start them.
For the record, I've only betrayed my party twice, and I don't plan on doing it again anytime soon.
Anytime soon. How soon is soon? We don't know.
Also, I'll save my story of running into a cult for another day as well.
Oh, I know that part.
Like a real life cult?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm excited for that story.
Hey, I grew up in a cult. Got him.
That's true.
Got him.
Got him.
You got out. And the only thing they took from you was your penis.
Yep.
The only
25 years of my life. Woohoo.
Reclaim your foreskin.
I don't care about the rest of you. Just give me the foreskin.
I'm gonna
reclaim the foreskin.
I'm gonna break into my doctor's house and steal my foreskin back.
Your skin, more like my skin.
No, it's
Where's the foreskin, Luke?
Isn't it only one skin? Technically,
You turned off your targeting computer. Use the foreskin, Luke.
I was about to say I have mine, but that's not my umbilical cord, not my foreskin.
Excuse me.
Either way, that is gross. Why do you have your umbilical cord?
Why?
Did you not eat your placenta?
Ew. Why would you eat it,
Why would I
period?
eat my own?
This is really off topic, but
Doesn't make
related
any
to this.
sense.
One of my high school professors kept the placenta and like the umbilical cord from his children like up on a plaque in his classroom. It was fucking disgusting.
No, mine's just my cord's just in like a baby book my mom kept. I'm pretty sure.
What the hell?
I mean, my mom has like locks of hair and stuff, but I don't think like
I don't.
bodily parts like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Why
How
do
do you
people
feel?
do that?
How do you feel about people eating the placenta? Because that's a thing.
That just seems too much. Like
Why?
that's cannibalism. That's your own body.
I think it's like a health or like a spiritual or like a mental thing. I don't know.
It's a
Or
health
cultural.
thing. I definitely know why people do it, but I just would never. That's just disgusting to
How
me.
is it a health thing?
How does it?
There's like vitamins and like stuff in it.
No,
And
there's
because
You can
like,
say the same thing about the rest of the human body.
yeah, it's like that's what feeds the baby, and so everything that they get, like what they don't like have at the end of the day, you can have it.
So nice, he ate it twice.
Isn't the whole point of that? It's supposed to be giving nutrients to the baby. So, like at that point, like isn't that the nutrients that aren't supposed to go to the baby?
I have no clue.
Who knows?
I don't know. All I know is just fry it, mash it, stick it in the stew.
I'm not a biology major. Don't know this shit.
Yeah, all I know is camera.
I know how to hit
hardship
record.
camera.
All I know is work camera, get mad at graphics, and die.
I'm a computer.
Get laid, get paid, Gatorade. Am I right?
Hey.
Minus the getting paid. All right.
Stop all the downloads. Let's watch those. Let's watch that after this.
You wouldn't steal a car, would you?
You wouldn't download a house.
Oh.
Have you seen those like virtual house tours? And like some of them have turned into scavenger hunts online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that part.
It's really cool. I'll save it for after the podcast or save it for another time though.
Fun.
Yeah, save it for another podcast. It's actually coming up on bedtime.
It's my bedtime.
That is so weird.
boy.
The second you said that, my computer screen just went to sleep mode and my heart stopped.
It's coming on midnight, boys.
No, it's
Don't sleep till midnight.
It's almost midnight.
It's getting there.
Pretending it's midnight.
Oh, sorry, I'm breaking the immersion. Oh,
Don't break the immersion.
Am I supposed to be whispering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is turning to ASMR.
ASMR. The one thing Josh doesn't know about.
This is me trying to call my cats.
That's an excellent noise. Thank you. Stop breathing.
Someone might fall asleep to that. I mean, people like ASMR.
Normal people though.
I am not qualified for ASMR.
There's like a 12-year-old who does it. You ever see that on like TikTok or whatever?
No.
There's like a little 12-year-old ginger kid who does ASMR, and she just like, I don't know, drinks Coke or something.
Gross. Gross. On that note, I think we should all go to bed. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Sweet dreams.
Good night. Sweet dreams.
Subscribe.